Yeah. That is very anti-NFL, NIFL, and that is the penalties. This is why I stopped watching, and this is why I have a hard time watching the game. I know every game is not like that, but the fucking penalties, dude.
Yeah,
The
that was
fucking
ridiculous.
refs like own the game, man.
Yeah.
I can't live like that. I can't. I won't.
And I don't know. You say that not every game's like that. I guess that some are blowouts, but no, they are all like that. Officiating is mediocre.
Well, the problem is not just the mediocrity; it's the over. I guess governing of penalties. It's like too much, man. I can't get a clean play from play to play. It's constantly bullshit.
But I mean, if they're penalties, then they got to call them, right?
Well, but they let a lot of stuff go, Sean.
Well,
we see that in the college game. We see that in the college game.
I feel
they let them play sometimes.
I feel the college refs are worse.
But yeah, the lack of consistency is my point. They let them play in some games. They let them fucking go in others. And it depends on where the conference that the refs are from, and what kind of mood
it was just really weird to me. Like I said, I watched the first part of that early game, and on that first drive, they had a bomb down the sideline to whoever that, it looked like an amazing one-hand grab.
Devontae Smith.
I know.
And he fucking, I saw it from across the living room, and my eyes at 50 aren't that fucking great anymore. I'm like, you dropped it.
Yeah. And then your eyes are not great, Sean. And I back you up on that point.
And the thing is, to me, it's like, are you kidding me? This is a fucking NFC championship game. That's a huge fucking play. You guys will throw bullshit all over the field. You might want to take a look at that.
Right.
But what about that catch? Did you guys see the catch last week? Buffalo, Cincinnati, the Jamar Chase's touchdown in the second half? They ruled it incomplete, but it was he caught it.
Yeah.
Was 2 feet inbounds in the back of the end zone. And then bobbled it as he fell out of the back of the end zone, but it never touched the ground, and they called it incomplete, no control.
Yeah,
while he was in bounds.
Yeah,
that was a
really
catch.
Close.
That's a catch.
I don't think so. I'm with the no catch on that, but it was so damn close.
So the point is, though, Sean, back to your original point is, like, there's no correction on a good catch, a bad catch. It seems like let's just keep things moving sometimes, instead of actually investigating, was that a catch or not? And clearly the one today was not a catch, but why didn't they stop playing?
Oh my God, picked off.
Because Devontae Smith saw that it was not a catch. And he's like, huddle up, let's go.
But still, that was down the sideline. I mean, there's fucking time. There was plenty of time. It's not like it was
plenty of angles. Yes, that's my point.
Yep.
Yeah, they fucked that. And to me, that kind of set the tone for the game. And now,
it sure did.
Whatever, and their hype, and who knows? Just, I thought that set them up bad.
Well, they got totally fucked.
Shanahan was fucking cussing motherfucking those refs.
What was his?
He should have been punching them in the grill because they fucked them big time.
Big time.
You get fucked big time.
No joke.
Bang bang.
Well, I saw his face over there. He was pissed. But I was in the car. Did he have an after game presser? Was he fucking red ass?
No. I didn't hear it.
I
didn't hear
that in my life.
I was at Nick's for the first game. I drove home after the first game.
What do you mean? That's some good entertainment right there. And it's going to take these coaches bitching and probably getting fined for anybody to ever do anything about it.
But really, because I only care about the college game, I barely care about the NFL. This is the first game I've watched, like, full game all year. So
wow.
My point is,
congratulations.
So to compare that to the college games that we watch week in and week out. And I watch multiple college games every Saturday for 13 to 15 weeks. And this is like in line with the quality of refereeing, like right in line. This is basically what I'm seeing. And those fuckers in the NFL are supposed to be paid professionals only doing refereeing, right? Like in the college game, these guys are like part-timers. They're like part-time.
I think the pros, I think the NFL is the same.
It is correct. Because the unions aren't as strong. The baseball and the basketball referee unions, they have a lot better deals where they're strictly salaried employees of the league. The NFL, they're not. And not to say they're not employees, but they're not full time. No. And there's been a lot of talk about that recently about getting that changed, like amending their CBA to get full time refs because of what we're just talking about.
Jeff, hold on. So in the NFL, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that this just changed over the last few years, that New York, the office in New York is now making decisions and piping them into the refs at every game. Is that not the case?
When
that was supposed to happen today. I heard them say that today.
The issue, like the issuing of reviews and stuff, and like when the refs say, well, we're gonna look at it. It all comes from New York.
Okay. So that is a move in the right direction when we talk about college refereeing, and there needs to be maybe a governing body nationally.
Yeah.
And
still,
it still seems like they're not getting it right, though, even in the NFL for some reason. But that I think, though, would help a lot of these terrible referees that we see in the Big Ten and everywhere, honestly, nationally in college.
Well, I think I heard Valenti talking about this, I don't know, a week or two ago. And kind of the same thing, he's like, they need to be full-time guys, have these guys, taking classes, on-field study, you're out there working even with teams, just reps all year round, and you're studying this shit and you know it, and you work as a well-oiled machine. It needs to be done. I mean, fuck, there's not enough money in football for that to happen. Come on.
Fuck you. Yeah, no way. Not in the Power Five anyway.
Yeah, I think too, on a college, on any given Saturday, you're gonna have what, from, if you're just talking into this Division I, that's 131 schools. So
add $1 per ticket for good officiating.
Yeah, 60 some games. So you're not gonna go. Never mind.
Take it out of the conferences. Each conference should be able, because the conference refs work all of the games, even the bowl games, the fucking the CFP games. Those come from conferences. Fucking, that's part of your salary, bonus or not. Right?
I don't.
If you got to get graded. Actually, see, I think you. I
think you treat it as you do the teams, and I think that's the way actually they do these playoffs. They said, I think to do these games, I think you're getting pulled, like these NFL games at least. You're getting guys pulled in from all around who basically perform the best at their, line judge and back judge and all that shit.
Yeah, grades.
And I think that's the guys that get to do these games, right?
Yeah. That's the thing with the NFL is guys are graded and they get the best, obviously the most important games by the quality of their seasons, So Jeff, can you chime in? You're our NFL correspondent on this show.
Okay.
I definitely am not.
Appreciate the promotion.
First weekend of football I've watched on the NFL. So, but you have to. You're right that the refs get playoff games, Super Bowls by their grades, right? They're not just
correct.
It's not, names pulled out of a hat.
Yeah, so like the Super Bowl crew
Should be the best.
It will not be like one referee's crew that he travels with. It'll be the top rated back judge, the top rated line
position.
judge, the top rated. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the best? Do you think that's the best though, or do you think maybe they should have a team, like the best team goes? Because you get used to calling a game. You get used to calling a game with the guys. Right. But what if the other line judge is a total prick on the PI, and you're usually not, and you don't know how that guy works. He's brand new to you, and everyone's like, "What the fuck? We're getting called all over the place, and they're getting away with everything." And
I wouldn't, but I couldn't begin to tell. Oh my god, that was pass interference. Sorry,
it's like a bouncer at a strip club.
I couldn't begin to tell you, like, okay.
So, like a bouncer at a strip club's like, okay, I'll let her give blowjobs in the back of the place because she gives me one once in a while. But
and she slides me some money, right?
Yeah.
Where you been hanging out, man?
I'm just talking. Sean.
He's in the greater Tampa area, bro. I mean, God help him, Sean.
Slut Central. But anyways, so you get my point. Like, so I get your point.
Continue on with the security guard, the bouncer at the strip joint. Go ahead, follow that. Put a nice bow on that.
Just saying that some strippers might get favor over others if they are easy to work with, like Sean was saying with refs. Maybe not in the BJ capacity, but easy to work with teams.
I just think that you should keep it. Maybe if maybe judge a team, and let that team go do a game, not just take random guys that don't know each other, have never reffed with one another, and bam. And I guess it doesn't matter because you're not. It's no emotion. You're calling balls and strikes, right? I mean, you're calling it how you see it. And you going into that, hey, this is the way this ref calls it. You've seen him all season long, and this is how he lets some hand fight out there a little bit, or whatever.
Yeah, I get it.
And I have to imagine that the refs, and like I said, I really have no knowledge of the referees, and that rule about having the top graded guy at each position on the field, that could have changed. I mean, for all I know, honestly, it could be just like the top graded overall group. It didn't used to be that way, but I wouldn't know if it did change.
No, I think it's still that way from what I heard on the radio the other week.
You got to say that the refs, I would imagine they all pretty much know each other. I would think they would know each other. Relatively, like they go to I don't know, whatever shit in the off season, in service things. I don't know, whatever they do, but yeah, they are not full time still. But that has been a major topic that's been talked about amongst NFL people, hearing it from front offices. That it'll be
that it should be a bigger topic in college football. I don't give a fuck about the NFL. You guys can just burn down your league.
Joe, you don't, but 70 million people do. And it's
I understand. I understand it's the most popular sport in the world, or at least in the United States, not in the world. But I will say that college football has a lot more teams, a lot more refs, and that's my concern because that's my baby. That's what I care about.
Well, I think once you go to these, and what I feel is going to happen in the next 4 to 5 years is once you go to these two super conferences, now you're going to have a lot less teams. You're not going to have 125 teams. You're going to have like 40 teams that are generating all the revenue. And I think that'll be enough of a cash cow to put in something like the NFL, where it's a more professional ref. You got better qualified guys.
But Jeff, you said that they're not full-time.
No, they're not. They're actually not.
Right.
In the NFL. So that's the problem. That is the big problem, no matter what level of sport you're talking about. If they're not full time, then they're just regional guys.
But like you said, I mean, 125 teams, that's a lot of refs, man.
Sure. Yeah.
And if you're having,
though,
and if you're really, but if you're talking too about having like a control center, like how New York does all like
exactly, yeah,
institute the replays. How many guys? I mean, you're going to have on any given Saturday 60 some games in Division I football, roughly. So you got to have more than one guy monitoring 60 some games.
Oh,
you know what I mean? You're going to have one guy for every maybe 5 games.
I think the money's there, Jeff.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying. Believe me, I am not one that's going to say we got to watch what they're spending. Yeah.
I was going to say put the NCAA in charge of that, and then I'm like, no, they fucked that up somehow.
That's a good one. That's a good one, Sean.
Get right on it, guys. Well, hey, we're on it. We're on it. We'll let you know by 2032.
But aren't they still? But isn't there still? Maybe not New York, but isn't there? Is there a ref in the box?
Whose box?
That can be in there. That's in their ear now. I mean, someone's telling them shit from the, might not be Central Command in New York, but from the
college.
Oh,
you mean they're getting buzzed down from?
Yeah.
There's a guy.
I think that happens occasionally. Doesn't seem to happen enough.
But it's all those reviews in college. Those aren't all determined by that guy on the sidelines. I'm almost positive. There's a guy up in the booth that's looking at it with him.
Right. And apparently he's not even watching like the TV copy, because we see on the TV, balls juggling around, feet not down, or we see very apparent like replays on the TV copy that we're watching of things being very different. And they just like gloss over them and okay, next snap, let's go. It's like, it's so random. That's my point. That's my point about getting better at college football refereeing. And it's not asking too much. If these assholes if there's a guy at every game, one guy up in the booth at every game in college football, I'm talking Division I, that is watching just the TV version and saying, okay, we might have an issue here. We got more angles. Let's pause it. And he's buzzing down to the ref. That seems like the very minimal he could do, right?
Yeah. Like, hey, I need to get a couple of different angles. I need to see the other angle on this. It looked like he might have had both feet in.
The problem is, I think you're going to get buyer fatigue. Potentially, the games are already 4 hours long. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I get you. The NFL games are not better, honestly.
But I tell you what,
the one I watched today had like 20 penalties.
Now, Joe, there's a way. This might take a couple of years of like the rhythm of it. But there's a way, if there's communication, like that, that the head referee with a headset, if he's that guy could be telling him as soon as the play is done, hey, we're going to be looking at this. We're going to be looking at this. And then they're watching and monitoring. Now, if the guys hurry up to the line and try to snap it, then maybe they have to stop the play. But a lot of times they're using 30 seconds or so. You can, the guy can almost tell the ref before the ref even has to tell the crowd, hey, we're going to look at this in his headset.
Yeah.
Maybe get it.
And he's
got them both in.
If they snap the ball before that guy upstairs says pause, then too bad, too effing bad.
Right. If there's that open line of communication where that head ref from the field can be talking and hearing the guy in the booth, hey, I'm gonna look at this and look at this again. Or if it's a scoring play, they always have scoring plays have to be reviewed, so you can't let them hurry up for the 2-point or something like that.
Right.
But then the ref will have that power. He's like no time. We're gonna be looking at this.
My whole point.
I think that helps as far as it not stopping every play as soon as you get a buzzer, like a beeper on your hip. You're like, oh, now you got to stop the play. No, just be having that communication in the ear. That there's a lot of time. That 30 seconds it is a lot of time to.
Yeah.
If you're just standing still.
And if the offense, wants to go hurry up at that moment, and you only have 10 seconds to look at the replay, TF, go.
Yeah. And then you got the head ref talking to the guy.
That's why you saw Devontae Smith
they're coming.
doing that huddle signal after that terrible catch. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't even see that part of it.
Yeah, he got up and he did the fists together saying huddle, huddle, huddle. Because he knew he did not catch that cleanly.
Well, here's what's messed up about it. If that was an interception, they sure as shit would have looked at it.
Yeah, because it's a change of possession. You got to get teams on and off the field. There's
Scoring
plenty of time.
Scoring plays and change of possession have to be. They have to.
There might even be a commercial break.
Yeah, I mean, hell, that fumble by Purdy in the first series of the game.
Right.
First play, I kind of glanced at the TV. I thought it was a tipped incomplete pass.
Right.
And then but that guy picked it up and ran, and he was in the open field.
But then they go to commercial like right after that.
And if Purdy's name was Tom Brady, that's an incomplete pass.
Fucking don't start, Sean. Don't fucking start me. I swear to fucking Christ, I will put my hand through this goddamn computer.
Tom, we got your back, but you just got to get to the playoffs. We got your back once you get here, but it's on you to get here.
Motherfucker. That's the only time I will back up Charles Woodson. Anyways, so we probably should get to the show. We got Tyrone Smith, our guy, already jumping in, and he is right in to what we want to talk about right off the bat. He says, excited to have James back at OSU. And I agree 100%. This is my number one thing right off the bat. Just a 3-star from Minnesota. Wow. See,
sure.
I fucking said this a year ago when he went to Notre Dame. Right about this time, Marcus brought him in because obviously as a new time head coach, you want somebody you can trust. You want to surround yourself with guys, coaches below you that you can trust. And obviously Laurinaitis is one of them. Laurinaitis proved himself at Notre Dame. He has, I have multiple quotes from their Notre Dame beat writers that really show what Laurinaitis is all about. And this is going to be very interesting to me, not only from his coaching point of view, but his recruiting. And he's already going to bring in Peyton Pierce from Texas, I believe, in this 24 class. We'll get to that later. But do you want to do story time? Do you want to do story time with Uncle Joe?
We love story time.
All right. Take a knee.
Take it down.
Everybody take a knee. Take a knee. And we're going to do quick story time about James Laurinaitis because he's not from Ohio. Although he's one of the most decorated Ohio State Buckeyes in the history, James Laurinaitis is from upstate Minnesota. He went to Wayzata High School. One of his teachers actually went to Ohio State and saw James develop. He was a hockey player, really good hockey player, but he couldn't skate backwards. So bit of a problem. Sean, you could probably attest to the importance of that, right?
Yeah, that's a
little bit important.
Yeah, you better learn that early. But you know what? I'll bet you that's overstating it. And when they're saying he can't skate backwards, I guarantee compared to us, he skates like an angel backwards. He just might not be that fleet. But I get, but he can't.
He didn't have pro potential at hockey, but he was still better than anybody else.
But the one place better in high school hockey than Michigan, Minnesota. Minnesota high school hockey is the stuff.
Right. Yeah. And so he had a teacher in high school that went to Ohio State, eventually moved on, took a teaching job at Wayzata High School in Minnesota, and she sent a letter to Jim Tressel and the Ohio State Athletic Department saying, we have a really awesome football player up here, and his name's James Laurinaitis, and I think you should come up, check him out. Okay, so this letter eventually gets to Jim Tressel somehow, which would not happen today, right? I mean, if you try to email fucking Urban Meyer or Ryan Day, it's like fucking spam. But anyway, so Jim Tressel puts Doc Tressel, because Doc Tressel, his brother, is in charge of that Minnesota Midwest area in recruiting, sends Doc up to Minnesota to Wayzata High School to check out James, whatever, and gives him an offer. But what's funny is, even before that, I think that was probably Laurinaitis' senior year when he was offered. It was very late in the cycle, like there were cycles back then. It was like fucking 20 years ago. But anyways, so Laurinaitis actually camped at Notre Dame when Mickey Mariotti was there, and Mariotti said, "You will never be a Division I football player," in that camp. James Laurinaitis. And that just shows you the fuel that guys will take and turn into, like, you know, a 3-time All-American and an 8-year NFL vet at middle linebacker. So pretty awesome. Obviously,
that is, and now he's going back to the same team with him.
Yeah,
with Mickey, and
exactly.
you know, but you know what? You say that, and I'm wondering, Mickey probably says that to everybody just to say, if you ain't gonna work your ass off, it ain't gonna happen. You know, I'll bet you Mickey's met few 17-year-olds where he's that impressed. Feel like you're soft as shit, kid.
Yeah, I get your point.
He might say to people to try to see how they react to it too.
Yeah, What do you think about that? I just stomped on your face. What are you gonna do about it? You gonna get up? You gonna go crawl away?
Well, he's just a 3-star from Minnesota, so that was in the early points of the recruiting services and shit like that. So interesting. But Laurinaitis, obviously, I don't know what else we can say about him. I did a breaking news segment on Friday afternoon about him, and I think this is huge for recruiting, especially at the linebacker position. But I think you could kind of radiate this out into the entire defense, right?
So Joe, what was he exactly hired for? What's his now given title?
Linebacker exactly. GA.
Okay.
Same job he had under Marcus, and same job. So Jim Knowles is basically, DC and linebackers coach. So his GA, Coy McFarland, moved on, went to Tulsa with Kevin Wilson. So that left that GA, basically your right-hand man, as a linebackers coach, wide open. And I see, I don't want to take credit, but I will. I started this campaign a couple weeks ago when Coy McFarland left. I was like, bring Laurinaitis home. I have receipts. I have my receipts in Twitter, and I just did it again like 4 or 5 days ago. So I won't take credit for bringing Laurinaitis in, but kind of alerted people that this should happen. Anyway,
the Oracle.
So I'm not a Nevada Buck. Never want to be, but it was pretty obvious this should happen, and I'm surprised nobody else jumped on it.
I was surprised when it didn't happen last year. As much as what hearing him talk, you knew he almost, and James is total professional about everything. So he never like, never just like kind of spills some unknown business out there. But you could tell he was interested in joining the coaching staff last season. And I still don't know the whole story of why he didn't. Was it just a matter of Knowles coming in and just not, picking his guys over somebody
pretty
else?
Much. I would say Ryan Davis, we got a guy.
He probably told Knowles too when he hired him. He's like defensive side, yours. Do what you need. You're your call. It's your defense. So he, of course, brought his GA with him. He's like, well, I don't. James, yeah, he's great. He was a great player here, but can I have two? No. All right. Well, I already got mine. So hopefully it was just something that. It seems to be just something that matters that like there was just with a new defensive guy coming in, he was allowed to he had the authority to bring in his people. So
I think the Buckeyes also wanted to see how serious he was about coaching, because
and Bo kind of alluded to that on the radio about he's like I think this could be pretty much a done deal if the right things are said, and he made that kind of statement. So I was just kind of trying to infer what needs to be said to who.
He means that the Buckeyes needed to reach out to James. Yeah, and obviously they did.
Yeah. I wish every Buckeye fan across the nation should be ecstatic about
Laurinaitis is super him coming back. Fucking loyal. You know that. Like he is super, super loyal.
He's so badass. He's so badass.
He's so badass, and he's like a superhuman. He is like a legitimate superhuman. Like you can't get enough of these guys around the people you're trying to shape and mold and train and teach. You can't get enough of people like James Laurinaitis. It's a no-brainer.
If we can keep him in the Ohio State system and watch him graduate, from level to level, that would be ideal, because I never want to see him leave. He has like everything you need: the energy, the magnetism, the experience, and obviously just being a Buckeye for life. I mean, this guy has everything that you want.
Well, in his makeup as a person, like he is. Like there is no, you're not gonna catch James in some bullshit down the road recruiting, doing some shiesty shit, wrecking a car, doing 130, beating his wife. You're not gonna, you won't. I mean, as of the way he is, he's a prototype dude you want in your program as an example. Hey, he's a fucking dog in the NFL too, by the way, all-time leading tackler for the Rams. You know what I mean? He leads an NFL team in career tackles. Yeah. AJ Hawk does.
What's crazy about this is going to be the new Brian Hartline on defense. That's like my dream for this. Is that okay? Yeah, sure. You come in as the GA. You look like you can still fucking play. You get out there and you got, like Joe said, you got all this energy. And I think his recruiting and his chops, like you said, I mean, you got college chops, you got NFL chops, I mean, and high energy. I think this guy's going to be big on the recruiting trail. What linebacker wouldn't want to be there? And I'm with you, Joe. I think bringing him in as a GA, he's unproven at this. But it's. I wonder if it's weird for a guy that's like you said, Jeff, NFL kind of legend-ish, and now you're a graduate assistant, linebackers coach. But I think that's going to be maybe a 1-year deal. Joe, would you think? And then maybe the linebacker coach we got moves on, and then he moves into that spot, and then who knows what the future holds for him. But I'm with you. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be good. I think it's a high energy move, and I hope he stays as long as possible, like Hartline.
Yeah, I think he is a Hartline of the defense. I think he could easily be a 5-star recruiter, and I think You
Well,
gotta eventually, he has to, because he's a GA, he can't do off-campus recruiting, but he has created a very close relationship, with this Texas 4-star 2024 recruit, Peyton Pierce, number 3 ranked inside linebacker. They are very close in the recruiting at Notre Dame. I think this is where, you get a kid on campus and a Laurinaitis right now becomes your closer. Then again, he graduates to the linebacker position, coach, where he can go off campus. He can fly around and do all of the Brian Hartline kind of things.
Joe, and even if he doesn't have the success that Hartline does, or just doesn't excel as high of a level as Hartline, or somebody that's operating at a real high level, deep down, he's never gonna put the college in danger or in trouble, and he's always gonna try his best. I mean, that dude he's gonna work tirelessly to be the best. So even if the results aren't coming, at least this dude is giving it all he's got, because that's just the way he is. He's not half-assing nothing. And I think he's the type of guy like Hartline. He's made his money, has a great family, has a great background or backbone, structure and everything, and he wants to be in Columbus. So ideally, in 8 years, 5 years, whatever, you could have Hartline and Laurinaitis, both former teammates, as faces of the university,
OC and DC,
going into our next phase of whatever Ohio State football would be after Ryan Day maybe moves on. Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, so even if he doesn't, even if he doesn't start pulling in, 3 of the top 10 linebackers in the country, the effort's there. You don't have to worry about, where the fuck has he been? We asked him, where's Tim Walton been, on vacation? You're never gonna have to worry about James Laurinaitis not trying to do his very best at all.
No, and he's gonna get these kids to play. He's like, look, you guys, what I did for so long, going against the best of the best.
Yeah, let me cue up a YouTube video.
Yeah, and I mean, how comforting is it though too to have assistant coaches that, hey, well, we learned that we knew about this guy for 3 or 4, 5 years. Hartline and you get the guy, no kids in the program, about him. So of course we want to listen to this guy, excel in the coaching. Every Buckeye fan is rooting for James Laurinaitis.
I do think it's almost unfair that we get a borderline Hall of Famer as a graduate assistant. That's kind of sick.
That is cool. Yeah. Yeah, 4 times, 3 or 4 times Pro Bowler, all-time leading tackler for an NFL franchise.
Yeah, Hartline started out as a quality control guy.
Yeah, right.
Even less than a GA. He didn't make shit. He was working for free.
And that's what he needed the money. 4 years, Joe. He went to OC from.
No, I don't know if it was 4 years when he was quality control, but
and I'm saying was it 5?
So
the most
17 he was quality.
Okay, 17.
Worked under Zach for 18. Took the interim role when Zach got fired in 18.
That is 23 already.
Full time in 19.
Okay.
Yeah. So now he's OC at 5th year.
And looking at about $1 million a year.
Yeah.
He's close to what he made some seasons in the NFL.
Show me a college, by the way, just for comparison's sake, show me another college team that has former players that played in the NFL, not just for a year, but for 5 to 10, and came back and are now on staff. Show me a college that has done that. I'm not
and excelling, Joe.
Definitely not Bama or Georgia.
It's not just a matter of I see some coaches, I see some SEC schools or whatever, and I hear a guy's name on the sidelines, a defensive backs coach,
Tennessee.
I remember when that dude plays or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're not the top recruiter in the country. like Heartline. You know what I mean? They're not like a
No.
fucking top 5 recruiter in the country, skyrocketing every year, raising in position. And these are guys that these guys that signed second or third big time contracts in the NFL. You know, you're right, not hangers on, and so they're making an impact when they were in college, when they were in the league, and then they come to the coaching staff and making impact still. I don't know of any. I don't know of any else.
No.
And I think there's some other
Name 'em.
coaches. I think there's some other coaches out there that are Buckeyes that would love to coach Ohio State, but they're not qualified for their position there, or there's a better guy in front of them, a la Fickle, Ryan Day, a la Notre Dame coach Freeman. You know, you're not gonna. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. But if either one of them had a chance to be Ohio State head coach, I mean, they'd jump on that in a second.
Right.
No doubt, right? I mean, that wouldn't even be an afterthought. I almost thought like if things ever go south for Vrabel, he'd be Ohio State's head coach. He'd want to take that job.
Yeah. I think that's why he took the Cincy job, because he was hoping the Ohio State job would open up eventually. And I think the same with Marcus. I think Marcus, obviously staying in the Midwest, he didn't take, like, both of those guys had offers from, way out west or way
LSU.
down south.
So Freeman was offered the DC job at LSU to go with Kelly.
Right. So I think they want to stay close to Columbus, relatively speaking. And when that job does open up, which it will, it's going to open within 10 years, most likely.
You can't expect college coaches to be. If you get 10 years out of a college coach nowadays, you're the lucky ones.
I don't know. I'd love to see Ryan Day go on a tear and be our coach for the next 25 years.
Sure, yeah.
Ideally, yes. Well, we almost were about 6 weeks ago.
How old's Day? Like 40?
Wait till the 45? End of November. Maybe we will.
Day's like my age. I think he's 44. Yeah, 43 or 44.
God, you're old.
Yeah, right? I feel it, bro, every day.
I feel like.
But those NFL jobs they're gonna come calling it. If Day continues to develops another quarterback, we put another one after CJ, we put another one in the NFL. But he might be shutting these calls down. Like, that's why we don't ever hear about him. I'm sure people are still contacting him. He's probably really happy where he's at. He wants to win a national title. He's on a mission. Eventually, there's going to be interviews. He's going to start taking interviews, at some point. And these other coaches, you're going to see like that feeding frenzy. Those college coaches, they're going to, like, if there's rumors that they might be leaving Ohio State, motherfuckers will be lining up down the block.
I don't know. Sure. I feel like
backdoor channeling and everything.
I feel like Ryan Day is more of relates to the college type of athlete more than he would probably relate to an NFL type of athlete. And so I don't know that. I think that's probably his internal struggle is, hey, do I want to do this at the highest level? Or I feel like he's made to be a college football coach right now. I know some of y'all are down on him for the last couple.
I agree. A lot of it is with his he's got a real spot in his heart, and he's and a big eye to see it as the mental health aspects.
Yeah,
like he's really into it, and he's.
It means something to him.
And nowadays, these kids nowadays, like that's it's just what you need. You need to have that gauge. Some of these older school, old coaches, they're not seeing it. Saban probably has a guy to monitor mental health stuff because he doesn't know it. He's like, it's that silly shit. You watch it. I ain't watching it. One of those type things. But but Ryan Day's like he has that foundation for it and stuff, and that work and stuff, that stuff he did with Harry Miller, like that was some real life, grown up mentor type shit. So I'm sure that connects with a lot of kids on a lot of levels. And I wouldn't be surprised if they would even promote the fact of how available he is and and how conscious he is of those issues.
I just hope whatever it is. I just hope if Ryan Day leaves, he leaves of his own volition. That means that he kicked ass. He's going to go take a pro job.
Yeah, I
and
can't
we-
see
I
don't
that
wanna- I don't
going
wanna-
in a different
Well,
direction.
because
and we
because
didn't
if it goes
fire his
to,
ass.
yeah, if it gets to a point where he gets let go by Ohio State, that means we didn't beat Michigan. That's what that means. And now
And
that means,
the
we're sitting on,
program's in bad shape.
yes. So yes, of course, I would love to see him just take a better job. He's like, yeah, because if he says, I want to see what the NFL can do. I want that challenge.
Yeah.
It's a pre-
Well,
Here's
nobody should be mad. Nobody should be mad because that's a dude running his own life. We all should be happy for him.
Here's one for you
Yeah.
guys. I gotta throw this at you because Stephen Cherry in the chat just threw it
Fucking
at
Mad
me.
Dog Steven. I love
You
to
don't
hear it.
fuck around. He comes at you with the hard balls. He says if Vrabel is a good coach, but not sure he's the best candidate for Ohio State. I agree 100%. I don't think that Vrabel would ever go back to college coaching because of the recruiting and all the ancillary shit, especially now
Yeah.
with
He's
NIL
a-
and transfer portal. You just change the job. That's why I think a lot of modern coaches that are in the game in college would leave is because of all those things. But anyways,
that's
going
a
back
fair
to
point.
Vrabel, I love Vrabel. I would love him to be a Buckeye coach, but never going to happen.
Maybe he'll sign up as a GA after he's done with this.
No, and
Yeah, he doesn't. He
Vrabel-
doesn't need the paycheck.
No, I could see Vrabel. You think maybe 10 years from now, maybe he
Has a
doesn't
4-year
quite-
stint. Has a 4-year
Yeah.
stint.
maybe he comes back to the college game.
He would
and the
have to
timing
get
were
his
be
ass kicked in the NFL, and I don't see that.
I think he'll always have a job in the NFL. He could very well go from head coach in the NFL back to D coordinator or something. But you know what? He
Yeah,
actually
that's what they typically do.
He actually
Yeah.
never was though. He never was a D coordinator in the NFL. He went from D line coach
Right.
at Houston to head coach at Tennessee. So he's
Exactly.
never actually been a D coordinator in college or pro. But he's fucking Mike Vrabel. He's got the rings. He's got the system.
And he
but
probably
he's
will
the-
fuck
he's
you
the
up if
dude-
you talk shit to him.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, he's got that respect. He's got that reputation in the NFL. Oh, like he knows his shit. He can run.
Yeah.
He can run a room of men. He can he can lead a group of men. He's a dude's dude. So yeah, he probably.
Have
once
you
stayed
heard
in the
that
NFL.
story from Zach Smith about Tom Herman coming at him at Ohio
No.
State?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, it didn't go well for Tom Herman.
Where's
went at
Tom
Vrabel?
Herman? Where's Tom Herman right now?
He just took a job.
Alabama.
He just took a
He
head
was-
job.
was with Bama.
Head coaching job. Sorry.
Did he?
Yeah. Tom Herman
Tom
is
Herman is 20 years prior to Bobby Petrino. He's Bobby Petrino 20 years earlier.
Yeah.
Same fucking thing. He'll bounce around.
I think
college
he's
football
at
for the next
FAU.
30 years.
I'm pretty sure
No,
he said
Fucking neck
FAU
brace,
guy.
motorcycle accident, the whole deal. Herman's
but he is a
snake.
Mensa. He is a Mensa. Yeah, FAU down in West Palm.
Head coach or OC?
Head coach. Yeah.
You know what? I was big on Tom Herman, and I think that guy got in his own head.
So Texas was too.
Yeah, they were.
That's kind of a big gig. That's kind of a good job to get. Texas
Seems
head
like
coach.
it.
One of
Yeah.
the probably 5 best coaching jobs in all the sports.
Definitely
people have
top
said.
5.
Problem
Yeah,
with Tom is
he
Tom's
fucked it up.
not a people person.
No. He's
But
got
he-
a big
but
ego.
Go ahead.
That's
Well,
the
he-
thing with a
he
lot
came-
of these coaches.
He came
The
at
ego.
Zach Smith. Tell me about that. I interrupted.
No.
Oh,
Repeat it, Joe. Break it down. Break it down for us.
yeah.
So
So
everybody's clear.
I think it was a locker room kind of issue. This is definitely was not out on a field during a game.
Probably 2013, 2014.
Yeah, Tom Herman was trying to get fired up before a game. He's trying to fire up his guys as much as you could as an offensive coordinator, So he's like, he tried to like fake bang his head into a helmet or somebody's locker or something. And then he went at Vrabel, and I don't remember the reasoning, but Vrabel like called him out on being a pussy, basically. And so Tom Herman came at him and just waited for people to grab him. He's one of those guys that would, grab me, hold me back, because I'm gonna fuck up Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel was like, no, let him go. Come on. Come over here.
I didn't get a lift in. I didn't get a lift in this morning. I'm gonna work out on you.
Mike, I heard that back when Fickle and Vrabel were Buckeyes on the D line
with Finkus, right?
Those wrestling matches were all timers. Like Fickle was a state champ.
Yeah,
right?
state champion. Yeah, like
Fickle,
legit. Like
obviously was a stud. And then you got Finkus, no joke. But then you got Vrabel. Vrabel was a fucking, ironhead from like Stark County, up there in the Northeast. He's like, you're not going to beat me. And I heard so many great stories of these guys just going head to head in the locker rooms, on the fucking practice fields, even though they were teammates right next to each other on the D line. These guys like went at it. And I would never, ever, ever tell somebody to fuck with Mike Vrabel, ever. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, he said he'd give a testicle. He said he'd cut his dick off for a Super Bowl ring, as a head coach. And they said, they said, well, Coach, you already have, Coach, you already have like how many? With 3 or 4 rings with New England. He's like, yeah, but the wife said we don't need it now, anyways. We're done having kids.
Yeah.
So he admitted to somebody. His wife's like, yeah, cut that shit off, get that ring.
Yeah, he's got that NFL like much hardcore mentality. I don't think he has the sauce.
He sold me on it. He's gonna if he loses this Tennessee job, he's going to be a college football coach.
I don't know.
Like you said, I don't think he's going to. I
don't think he has the patience for fucking kids.
He might be like, no. You guys act like, if you guys ain't act like professionals, I'm fucking out of here.
Go talk to a 16-year-old's parents in their living room. Fuck you! I'll wrestle you and throw you on this coffee table.
He walks in there with a fucking dipping. Yeah. He's like, you son want to be a pro? Come to fuck come to High State.
He's definitely coming in there with a chew and probably a dip cup. We should probably start the show.
Looks at the mom. Looks at the mom and says, "Hey, can you do something with this?" Hands it to her.
Right.
I thought this was the show.
Now we're saying Mike Vrabel's an asshole, and that's not what we're trying to say. No, Vrabel.
I don't have a problem with the guy walking in with a chew cup. It's not like the first time I ever seen that shit.
No, I mean,
a lot of high school kids probably haven't seen that.
Right. Oh, nowadays you made some D tackle from South Florida, man. What's up, Coach? What's
Warren Sapp from up there in Apopka used to play with Dip.
Yeah.
D tackle.
From Plymouth.
Enjoy that.
From Plymouth. Now Plymouth outside of Apopka. Now that's 15 minutes away from me, right? About 5 miles. Plymouth. Ooh, you drive through parts of Plymouth. There are some dirt roads and some shack houses. Like it's legit. It could be 150 years ago, and you wouldn't tell by the structures that some of these places.
Yeah.
I don't know where exactly Sapp grew up in when you say Plymouth, but there are some neighborhoods up around that outskirts of Apopka that are rough.
All right. Well, we gotta the pre-show is always better than the actual show that we do. So let's try and condense this real show here.
Oh, we're not live?
See, I got a problem here. My mouth hurts And so I've been dousing it with alcohol all day. I let my fucking wife scrape on my two front teeth here, so I get some plaque down in there. She used to be pre-dent at UF up in Florida, Gainesville.
Oh yeah.
And so she has all these tools, and she likes to. She's like, let me go in there and scrape that shit off. I'm like, all right, go ahead. Yeah, now my fucking face hurts, man.
Is this the show? Is this the show?
Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is the show.
This is
Yeah,
not the
Sean, this
show.
is what we were
This is
getting
not
at.
the
This
show.
is what we're waiting for.
So my fucking teeth hurt like you just went to the dentist. You know, you feel a little loosened up down in those gums.
Yeah.
Bro,
So I've been rubbing
if
strong
you're old
doses of
lady-
alcohol down in there all day.
If your old lady does
Gargling.
not have a nitrous tank for you, do not let her operate on your mouth.
She's not operating. She's just scraping with like a scraper. Like
Sweetie,
imagine your window scraper, Sean. You know how you
okay.
have the plastic window scraper, but this is made of metal, and she's taking it to my tooth.
Yeah, Joe. Say either nitrous or no deal. Bring some nitrous in here or nada. Ain't
The
happening.
fucking shit works. It works. It's just my gums are a little sore.
Nah,
So
you know what? I'm going to the dentist and I'm gonna see somebody to fuck my shit up. If it's
I get
your wife,
I get a
like,
cleaning every
fuck
6
your
months.
shit.
I'm on schedule. Trust me.
She's in there,
But
fucking or poking around like she knows what the fuck she's doing.
yeah.
Hey, Joe. Joe, what year was she pre-dental at UF? What year was
What
that?
year is this?
We're in the year of our Lord 2023.
I don't know, probably 15 years
2013.
ago.
Okay.
17,
All right.
20.
Okay.
Hey,
there's my
she
answer.
took the plaque off.
And some soft
Anyway.
tissue.
Yeah. That's all right.
Feel the pain
Just-
off your Camaro.
Just loosened up the fucking incisors a little bit.
You
It's all
became a
right.
permanent orange afro.
Yeah. You can only hope. All right. So we got to do our two
Guys
deeps
like
here
us.
before everybody checks out. I'm not sure anybody's even watching this show tonight. I wouldn't be.
We appreciate our listeners, though.
Yeah.
If you're here listening to this bullshit, let's talk 80s comedy. You want to talk that?
Yeah, we could do movie quotes all night long. All right. So that was movie quotes. So let's talk quarterback. I think we have a strenuous back and forth here. McCord versus Brown. Devin Brown, Kyle McCord.
We got to see Devin. We got to see him do something. His
Exactly.
talent.
How can you make a call when you don't see
There's
somebody?
not. You can't make a call. We haven't seen him in live, catching live bullets. The spring game's going to be. I would like to get back for that spring game. Just because, April 15th I think is the spring game. It's right around Easter. Is that Easter weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. You
It's
got a
not
birthday.
Easter, but anyway,
Well,
doesn't matter.
you got a birthday right around there. Our sister has one as well. Might be a good time to get back to Ohio. Maybe we should try to go back and see what Devin Brown can do in live action. Because it's going to go.
I already chose
to
my
the spring.
quarterback.
How can you choose somebody, Joe? You haven't even seen Devin Brown play.
Exactly.
So you're gonna already have your mindset on Kyle McCord.
Yep.
What if Kyle McCord is gone by May because Devin Brown blew past him in the depth chart? I'm not saying he is. Obviously we don't know. I'm not making any speculation.
You're creating hypotheticals.
Well,
No, he's not really. He's right on
why have
track.
you already picked somebody? Why have you already picked somebody when you haven't even seen one guy play?
It's very simple. I'll explain it to you if you want to listen.
Okay, I'll mute now. I'll mute it now.
All right. Kyle McCord has an extra year in the system working with everybody in the offense, O-line, receivers. Also, bonus, he has been a high school teammate of the best receiver on the team, Marvin Harrison Jr. Might mean a little bit. So Kyle McCord is your gamer, he is basically your white CJ Stroud. He is
Like night.
He's got the arm accuracy. He can drop it over a mother bucket. No, he can drop it over the linebackers, over the safeties into a bucket. He can hit those 1-inch throws that Ryan Day always talks about. He has the accuracy and arm strength that is NFL caliber. This is no joke. This is not made up. This is not me just talking out of my ass. These are reviews by recruiting experts. This is not me just making it up, And Devin Brown,
I understand. I understand all that. I
Brown
agree with
has
all that.
the
I've heard all that.
athleticism
Yes.
to be a different quarterback, not the accuracy and the arm.
You don't know that, and I think he does have the arm, and I don't think we have seen him. And
Sean,
I think
you can't
this
say
kid,
that. You're just saying that out of the blue.
Basically, I'm saying that
Joe,
based
you're
on
just go ahead,
watching
Sean,
his
go ahead.
tape in high school and seeing that tape in high school. This might be a different dude. And Kyle McCord, I think, is going to be a very fine quarterback. I actually really like both these guys. I'm pulling for both of them. But I'm telling you, Kyle McCord didn't play a meaningful snap, hasn't played one meaningful snap at Ohio State. Nothing.
He started a game in 2021.
What game?
That was not meaningful.
Versus
Joe
Akron.
against Akron.
Oh,
Hey,
come on.
These are games. These are reps in real game action. Devin Brown does not have that.
And Kyle McCord's fine. I agree. But this Devin Brown might be a different dude. I'm telling you, he's a sleeper. And I'm let me see the spring game.
Right.
So
Joe, listen, Joe, 1 second.
Go.
Don't let me and Sean draw a line against Kyle McCord. Neither one of us are saying that at all. You're 100% right with everything you talk about Kyle. Yes, all that has been spoken by professionals that do this shit for a living and grade these guys.
Thank you.
But yes. So, but that does not. I can't automatically put all my eggs in Kyle McCord's basket and be like, I'm a Kyle McCord guy. I haven't seen Devin Brown play. What if McCord is as good as how he's being projected, what people are saying, but Devin Brown adds the wrinkle of he makes a lot. He say his accuracy and does improve, and he gets on that level where he's completing the same percentage passes in McCord, but he's making more plays with his feet. And like it's just an added wrinkle. And then he surpasses McCord over the winter, spring, and then the fall camp where it's nose to nose, even with the one less year. Devin Brown does already have 1 year in the system. But how he develops, if he develops like it makes a big leap and McCord just makes steady increments, maybe he does jump ahead of him. We're not saying that McCord's not the guy. We're just saying we're waiting to see if this guy does make a huge leap where it makes it competitive. Obviously, if I had to bet money, I would put money on McCord because of the experience and how good he is.
I think whoever it is, whichever one it is, I think they're going to put up CJ Stroud type numbers.
Yeah,
either one of them are.
And so that's where we're at, guys. These are hard decisions that you have to make tonight.
Serious?
Too deep, hard decisions, Sean.
All right, I'm going
make it
Devin
hard.
Brown. I'm going Devin
and then
Brown.
Make a decision.
I'm going Devin Brown.
Okay.
Well, Joe,
and then McCord's a backup.
Yep.
If you're putting the proverbial gun to my head, Joe,
I would not do that in a proverbial, but I would hold a knife to your throat.
I'm your brother. You would hold a knife to my throat? God damn. God damn. All right, but I mean, yeah, I would pick Kyle McCord because of everything you said, the second year and everything.
I'm marking this
And,
shit down, so I am definitely holding this against you as I would a proverbial.
Well, Sean,
knife.
can I put it in a Kyle McCord under protest? Will that hold up in court?
No, I'm just taking Devin Brown to be.
I'm saying Kyle McCord under duress because I'm getting threatened here.
I hear you. I got Devin Brown.
Okay. All right.
And then I probably got, I don't know who the backup is, because if it's Devin Brown, McCord might transfer.
Yeah, McCord. I think McCord leaves. I think that's a given. If even after the spring.
Because McCord's going to be a stud too.
See, this is where you guys fuck me up. This is where you piss me off. Is you start saying that they're going to make an announcement after spring, and that's not the case.
No, Joe. No, you're not listening to what I didn't say. There's going to be a decision made, but McCord could leave after spring if he knows if he knows Brown passed him, he will leave. He's not going to wait for. He might not have to wait for Ryan Day to make a decision. It's not Ryan's Day in the football team organization.
So his
not their call.
Performance would be so bad to himself, he would say, "No, I cannot play at Ohio State."
No, it's not his performance would be bad at all. He's like, this Devin Brown's a different dude. This Devin Brown is,
that would be the reason he would leave.
That's why he would leave, because he's like, you know what? I'll go get the LSU gig and win a fucking natty.
Get it? Yeah, we've seen it. All right.
Oh, yeah,
we got to
exactly.
keep it moving. We can't just dwell on one position all night long.
Well, quit talking crazy about quarterbacks.
Well,
I got Devin Brown.
Yeah. Okay. You're crazy, and Jeff is kind of in the middle, and I'm McCord. This is probably.
I think I'm logical when I say I would just want to wait and see him perform.
You can't. Jeff,
I want to wait.
You have to make a fucking decision tonight, black and white.
At the end of January, I got to make a decision.
That's right. 1, 2.
Pussy shit.
As of right now, then Joe, of course I'm going to go with McCord. Just figuring that he's going to. That
wasn't so hard, was it?
But goddamn, why are you holding a gun to my head or a knife to my throat?
I'm not.
All right, what's the next position?
Let's move on to running back. Let's see how relaxed this position might be.
Put it on the show
on this position.
Trade Mayan.
Trade Mayan.
I'm not ruling anybody out for this, by the way. I'm going to let you choose between Trey, Mayan, Evan Pryor, Dallin Hayden, and if you want to go nuts with Chip Trainum, go nuts. Who's your starter?
It's going to be the exact same as it was when it started this season. It's going to be Trey 60%, Mayan 40%, and then some games, because they're both going to get injured, it's going to be Dallin for 30% of a game, and it's going to, I feel it's going to end up being the same way. Trey's going to end up being our starter. He's going to start probably the first play of the game.
They're going to split carries to some degree, and you're saying Trey's going to be slightly more.
Yeah, I think so. If both healthy going into fall camp, I think it's 60-40 payload.
Henry, you think Chip Trainum gets the bulk of the carries?
Well, if it comes to that, I hope it doesn't come to that. But no, I've got it as Trey. I'm expecting freshman Trey.
Yeah.
In the number 1 slot. From there, I mean, if you want to say who's going to get the next carry, I'd get on board with Mayan Williams. I think Pryor's going to come back and surprise people, and I think Pryor's going to be your number 2 here.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the update? You got an update on his status?
No.
We should probably rule out Evan for spring and expect him 100% and fall.
Oh, really? He's out for spring. Then that's a hard Mayan Williams.
No. I think they may keep him out. He might be ready or close to ready. I don't know, but there have been no updates, Sean. Nothing that I've read or heard.
He'll be over. He'll be over there on the bike at the spring game.
Probably looking fresh or something on the sideline, but
right.
yeah, Evan Pryor. I think it's gonna be like it was going into last season. They were, they're gonna have package. They're gonna expect Evan Pryor to be a part of the offense, but they're gonna have their two running backs. You know what I mean?
But I
They're gonna use
say,
him in a lot of different. I think they're gonna put him right where, because they never got to even showcase him last year, so nobody knows about him, and nobody knows about any of the plans that they had for him. I think they're gonna re-implement a lot of that shit of what we were hearing them talking about going into last year, about how excited they were with Evan and the different stuff that he can do outside of our normal running game with Trey and Maya. I think they're gonna just I think they just pocketed all that shit, and they're gonna be like, well, nobody saw it, nobody knows about it. We're gonna put it this year. We got all three of them healthy, and Dallin Hayden. Now I think we might lose one of them after spring. Honestly, Dallin Hayden might be the most susceptible to that transfer portal. Only with that fact, if Evan Pryor comes back healthy, 100%,
I don't know. I think
he's showing us what he did last year. Previous to last year, Dallin might see it on the wall like, fuck. Now there's three of them. I had to fight
well,
through
you know what? Then,
2 or 3 last year, but now there's
and
three.
guess what,
for sure.
Travion? After what you showed, these guys are on your heels. It's not like
Yeah.
they're head and shoulders anymore.
Yeah,
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, but
all right, Joe.
fuck around,
All right, Joe.
fuck around and find out.
Joe, you want to mark shit down in January? Travion Henderson
Sure.
starts the season as a starting tailback. Does not finish the season with the most carries on the team.
Okay.
Mark it down.
All right.
But we might lose Dallin Hayden after spring. We could. We very well could. We know he's already been approached. People are working on him because other everybody sees it. Like you guys, they have
I'm going to
they have two studs in
follow.
front of you and a high 4-star coming back from injury, and you're the youngest. But he did produce. Now, does he move ahead of Evan? And does Evan feel like, oh, I'm going to be fourth no matter what? I'm going to dip. That could happen too. I mean, that's how those kids feel and what those kids process mentally through going through all this stuff. We have no clue. So we can only speculate about transfers. But I would say one of those 4 would transfer after spring. I would not be surprised one bit. I hate to see it, but it might be the youngest
So
of.
look at these snap counts. I'm sharing on the screen right now. Look at Mayan and Travion. This is per game. See, Mayan and Travion. Mayan 28, 43 for Travion. This is how I kind of see the snap counts starting out.
No, Trey's running for a big time deal to be a first round running back. I think Trey's going to come back this year. He needs it. If he doesn't, he goes to okay. This year's everything for Trey.
Yeah, right.
Big
I mean,
time.
this is draft status. It's like an NFL running back going into a free agent year. Usually, you see their best fucking output ever. An NFL running back going to be a free agent. It's usually their best breakout year. Of course, they all eventually. Tony Pollard, he was set to be a free agent this year for Dallas. Balled the fuck out, right? Broke his ankle in the last playoff game, but. So Trey should be coming. Trey should be approaching this year as his free agency year. And if I'm sure they have agents, all that it's all out in the open now, right? So people are telling him like, this is your year. You need to fight through injury. You need to ball out. And it'd be amazing if Trey Henderson does not have those little nicks and stuff that slow him down or limit his carries or keep him out of a game or two. I wouldn't be surprised if Trey, or he could just be injury prone and he misses 3 or 4 games, or he plays all 12 or 13 and averages 25 touches a game. I could see either or. I mean, the talent is so great that it's a broad spectrum that he could be at. in our offense. But if he has those injuries where he doesn't practice some, all those running backs are coming right behind him, and he's got to know that. They can all produce.
Okay.
I think one of them leaves after spring, though.
50-50 split between Mayan and Travion.
You say 50-50, I say 60-40. Sean, what do you think? You got a number you want to put with that?
I'd say Trey probably. No,
50-50?
I'd say Trey probably gets 60% of the carries, but I don't think Mayan gets 40. I think Mayan and someone else probably go 20-20.
Okay. All right, let's talk receivers. I'm not sure we're definitely not going to get to the defense tonight. We'll do defense next week.
Sure.
Receivers. So I think that starting three have to be obvious, right? You got
Marvin, 99% of the offense.
Yeah. Emeka
one. Right? I mean, it's a given, right? And they're all productive. I would say that's a giving, Joe, the starting three.
I'd say that's got to be the best wide receiver room in the country.
I'll say that too. I would say that's
Stephen Cherry, this fucking guy. I'm sorry, I got to interject because he does not fuck around. I like Tyrone. Tyrone's more probably in line with my thoughts. But Stephen Cherry says Devin Brown is your starter. Sean, you and Stephen probably are friends.
Fucking A. Stephen fucking knows.
But Tyrone says I'm going McCord and Brown in 2024. Agree with all of that because I think McCord will be gone by 2024.
You think McCord's a one and done?
Yeah. Yeah, McCord has his 1 year then, Joe. You saying McCord has his 1 year NFL quarterback for second round.
Probably a Heisman finalist.
Like a Haskins, like a Dwayne Haskins
comes in 1 year. Like CJ.
Whoever gets the gig is going to have nice numbers.
Yeah. So Steven also says Henderson has a nice burst, but his lack of vision will cost him his starting job to Hayden. Ooh, burn. Oh, God down. Tyrone.
Wouldn't surprise me. Actually, it wouldn't surprise me, but I think
Tyrone says I see Hayden leaving because Tennessee wants him.
Yeah. Money.
And why wasn't Hayden getting in some of those last games and shit when we thought, okay, you're the guy, and now we're gonna make training him.
Well,
and you got to make Xavier Johnson and anybody else. Like, I thought you had a running back.
I think he got fucked in the last couple of weeks.
If he's got people in his ear, if he's got the people he trusts is dad, uncles, brothers, cousins, close friends, whoever, coaches, a high school coach, whatever. If anybody is in his ear saying, and there wasn't like something that he did that kind of put him in the doghouse or whatever. If these people that are around him know it wasn't something he did, of course they're gonna be in his ear like, bro, you're coming back looking at number 3 or 4 in the depth chart at best, and Tennessee's offering you, 6 figures. What they're not, they didn't show you love in the last couple of games. Those people in your ear, if those people are people you trust, you start believing that shit.
It's hard. It's gonna be hard to keep depth.
It's if he has those people in him. But yeah, no, could Hayden pass Trey on the depth chart this year as the number 1 back? Of course I think he could, because Trey's history is he's gonna show out, but he's gonna get dinged, and he's gonna nurse his injuries, and he's not gonna play a lot. That's it. I mean, that's the history we have of him. I mean, that's his proof. I'm not talking bullshit, So Dallin could very well move ahead of him, but I will still hold to one of those 4 leaving after spring, because one of them's going to get a message that I'm number 4, and I need to go because I'm better than anybody's number 4.
I do have kind of that same impression that if Henderson, something were to happen to him, Mayan Williams would still be kind of 1B. and it would be Pryor Hayden as 1A.
Yeah.
And you'd still split it that way.
Yeah.
Eh,
All right.
yeah,
So we
and-
got to keep it moving here, guys. We
Yo.
can't just hang up on two positions. We got to go wide receiver. Like I said, you got to go with Marvin and Mecca Fleming across the
Sure.
board.
Who's
And
4
then
and 5?
the number twos get a little dicey, kind of, maybe.
We don't know.
I don't know.
Right? We don't know. Jaden Ballard is the only one. Jaden Ballard has the next most playing time, correct? The next most experience on the field.
Not a lot. Not.
Well, no. I know nobody has a lot, but I'm saying Jaden Ballard would be the next most experienced, correct?
Yeah. He's.
So does
Same class.
Kojo Antwi, does he make the 2 deep in the slot? He's a 4-star out of Texas. Heartline gushed about him. Was he out of Florida? I thought Antwi was out of West Texas. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Caleb Burton. All right.
Wow.
Well, anyways, all right. But I mean, who Caleb Burton, Kojo Antwi, the freshman coming in, Brandon Ennis, Noah Rogers, do any of the,
don't rule out Keon Grays.
What?
Same
No,
class.
but I mean, it's kind of like the quarterback. So we have no idea where these guys were 5, 6, 7, 8, last year. So we never saw them at all. We really didn't see any of them. So
Caleb Burton was coming off of a knee injury his senior year. So
that's
you
right.
got
Okay. I
basically
couldn't remember which one
nothing.
injured
You can't
high
expect
school.
anything from him. So you got Caleb Brown, Kojo Antwi, Keon Grays. The guys all had limited snaps. I think Kojo did not redshirt technically. I'm looking
Really?
at the snaps right now. Caleb Brown played in 1, 2, 3. No, he didn't redshirt because he played in 5 games. So Caleb Brown had 27 snaps. Kojo 27 snaps
In 5 games, 27 snaps in 5
Yeah.
games.
And
That
Keon,
sucks. That sucks to burn a red shirt, though. That sucks to burn a year. With
Keon
that
should have
production.
got a red shirt in only 13 snaps. Yeah, that's what I got.
Well, I mean, so we really saw nothing out of any of them. So who does fill that? I think all the names we just named are going to fill out that 3 deep or that 2 deep at the 3 receiver spots. But in what spot? We don't know, right? I don't know.
Well, I'm going
Kojo
Jaden
looks more like a
Ballard.
slot.
I'll give you what I got. I'm going Jaden Ballard behind Marv. I'm going Xavier Johnson. I'm going Kojo Antwi because Kojo has he's fucking rocked up. He has the ability to play inside and outside. I think he could be your guy that could play either the slot or the outside.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought he was more of just a slot. Like I thought
I'm going X-Man. X-Man is the slot.
Okay, well, right. I totally forgot X-Man. In the discussion, yeah, he's definitely in the 2 deep. Xavier's gonna he produces. He's gonna play
because you got to put him in there. So I mean, we obviously all agree on the front 3, and then Xavier Johnson. The only thing is, Emeka is going to be on the field almost all the time,
right?
And I almost feel like Xavier swap out with Fleming, maybe. I don't know, but they're 2 different dudes, kind of. But
yeah, it's a different position, really.
And I'm with you on Ballard.
Xavier plays more of Emeka's spot. Like they're more similar.
Mm-hmm.
But they're gonna find Xavier Johnson. He's gonna find the field with him and Emeka. We're gonna see. I bet I can, barring injury, of course.
Well,
we're gonna see a lot of the 2 of them on the field together. I think
my kid wanted to come down there and see like the best 7-on-7 team in the country that features basically Brandon Ennis and all these other studs.
South Florida Express, right?
Is that what they are?
Yeah.
And I think this Brandon Ennis kid, high on him early. I think he can crack it, and he might be the next Marv, or We'll see.
Let me tell
We
you
might
why I
have-
didn't choose Ennis. There's one reason. Because he's not on campus yet. He won't be on campus till
August
summer.
or July. Yeah.
Parnell Tate's on campus. The Rogers boys on
Tate. I
campus.
think I love Tate too, man.
But
I think this
that's why
kid is a tough kid.
I gave a leg up to the second year guys, not the freshmen,
Sure.
because
Especially if
because
not coming
Ennis,
until
if
summer.
Ennis were on campus right now, I'd be like, I'd almost have to lean towards him.
Yeah,
That's third man.
that's a good point.
Like when J.K. Dobbins came in as a freshman in January, and Murati was fucking over his fucking skis with him. He's like, and then we didn't think he was gonna. We didn't think he's gonna be part of. We thought it was Mike Weber that year, and then J.K. came in as a freshman because he was in January. Murati got a hold of him, fucking blew him up, and he balled out as a freshman and almost took, his job, Mike's job. So
Yeah.
And
that's
this
why they
coming
ended
in
up
summer
splitting.
sucks. Yeah, right. So yeah, you're right. Ennis might be a leg behind.
Yeah,
but
he definitely gotta be.
his talent might make it up. But the other freshmen, Tate and them, he might be able to catch up to him in August, in 2 days. Some can. But one of those freshman receivers is going to redshirt. One of the four. We don't know which ones are going to actually acclimate to college football too. I mean, it's a big jump. So you can't bank on a freshman just adapting to everything and
It's
and blowing
impossible.
up.
That's why I went with
You can't count on it. See, I mean, it's a nice it's a nice surprise, but you can't count on any of the freshmen. And with 3 starters returning, your receivers,
Yeah.
like we have, there's going to be a lot of talk about a new quarterback and the best receiving class in the country, led by Marvin Harrison. So you're not looking for any of the freshmen to start. That's a good thing for us. We're not looking for any of them. Hey, like putting any pressure. Like, hey, we need, push. We need you to make an impact. No, we got 3 studs. It's just, are you going to earn playing time? Like all the freshmen this year did not earn playing time, but this class of receivers is better than the class that they just finished. Right?
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
So,
I think, I mean,
so
there's
do
multiple
they pass them
positions
throughout the year?
There's multiple positions on this team that are lacking depth after this season. Now that this season is over, we have not seen a lot of depth out of multiple positions like O-line, D-line, especially DNs, tight ends, wide receiver, corners. There's no depth in many of these positions, but let's get through these tight ends and O-linemen before we get out of here tonight.
Tight
ends, obviously Cade Stover coming back is your starter, but then you got Joe Warrior, who has seen very little to no action, and G. Scott Jr., who it has been on the field, but hasn't really produced.
What do we think about him? What do you think about him going into this winter and spring? You hope he makes another step, but I mean,
I just saw like some headline with him that he's like super positive. He's where he wants to be, is supposed to be, and I'm a big Geese Scott fan.
Me too.
I am too. Yes, we all are. But did you not expect
fourth year? This is fourth year in the program.
I expected to hear from him this season. I was expecting output from him this season because we didn't know about Cade Stover.
You could say the position change set him back.
Right?
You could say the position change set him back a year, but even still, this is going to be his fourth year on campus.
So going into his third, I thought we
can throw another 15 pounds on now. Well, I mean, what was he rocking this year? 245?
Maybe.
No, he's like 239.
240. He did not look imposing at tight end this year. So I mean, but I don't know. He was 215 in high school. Does he have the frame really to get on to get to 260 and still be an operating athlete.
He's so
his
the
face,
thing is he
I don't
he
know.
was so fast. Can he get to
Yeah.
255?
He's
I
only
don't know, but
6'3".
that's what I'm saying. Like, is that gonna be just too much that will start to limit his athletic ability? Because if he doesn't have his athletic ability, now he's just a 6'3" tight end, right? I mean,
But
you kind of need
he has to have
need him.
the capabilities. Like, are you going to be a blocking tight end? Are you
You
going to
know
be a
what?
receiving tight end?
I wouldn't be surprised if George Kittle is playing football right now at 250 pounds, but he is a fucking monster in the run game. So
That's fine.
it's not just to be in the 260 so you can run block, whereas 250 you can't. But
get
it's
it.
it's a mindset,
It's more
right?
of a
It's more of a
exactly.
mindset than just a weight.
Got to commit to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, but I know I expected to see G Scott last year. It's got to be this year, right?
This is his fourth year too. Him and Joe Royer, this is their fourth year on campus.
and he's not taking Stover's snaps. So barring injury, when we play that double tight end, but we do like a lot of 12 personnel. So
Well, yeah.
is he taking the place of more of a Mitch Rossi? Can you
Okay.
put him in the
So
H back in the
let
backfield?
me break down the snaps for you.
6'3", 245. I like 6'3", 245 as a lead blocker though. I do.
So Mitch Rossi,
if he's in it, if
was
his mind's right.
286 snaps last year. That was Mitch. Cade led the tight ends with 707. But then G Scott had 140. So you got to think about, we got to make up for Mitch Rossi's 286. And we got G Scott that put in 140. Joe Royer only had 35 and very limited action. Sam Hart, 18. So the rest of the guys don't matter because
what's Royer? Is he a bigger
tall and skinny?
Yeah, he's not
he's a Jeff Samardzija. He reminds me of Jeff Samardzija from Notre Dame. He ended up being a 6'5", 240 type.
He could
jump balls and all that shit.
I mean, if Mick does the right stuff with them, he could pass them all.
But Sean, this is the fourth year in the program. He's got to produce now.
I think we need G Scott. All right, so you look at those snap counts, Joe. Just replace. Take Rossi's out.
Guy Scott was a top 100 wide receiver. I mean, he's got serious receiving skills.
So so you run Stover in line with the on line scrimmage. You flank out G Scott like in the slot up on the line. You drop Ibuka and I don't know. I mean, there's a million things you can do with a tight end with a double tight end threat, like one that can run block and catch, and one that you can slot out. Those receiver screens. Remember that shit we were trying, and Stover was not getting to the guy on the like the little bubble screen.
Right.
G Scott can probably get to that guy, and even at 245, you can make the block. You don't have to be 255 or 260 like Stover. It's that fucking mindset of knowing I just need to make this block. I don't need to fucking crush a guy into the ground. I need to seal him from.
So you're saying we just ramp up everybody's snaps at tight end to make up for Mitch Rossi?
Yeah, I don't think the percentage is going to change. You know what I mean? That breakdown of percentage. Obviously, the numbers will change, but I don't think the percentage will change. I think, but I don't know. But can G Scott do that? Can he do what Rossi does? Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, it makes a logical sense.
If he can bring the blocking element,
the blocking element of Rossi and work in the slot, and work in the slot. You have a tight end flex.
Rossi enjoyed that contact. I don't think Guy Scott is going to enjoy that contact like Rossi did. That's
right. That's my point. Is he's
going
to be like an old school H back.
And his athletic ability, though, when he moves outside of that H back, he's going to get a different type of matchup than a Mitch Rossi would have gotten. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas it's
he has the receiving skills.
but you have to establish him as a threat down the field, I think, first,
Yeah.
before you can use him as a decoy in the backfield.
Right.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot. If he's mentally in, and he's got that ability. That's why we're making assumptions here on how you can use him. But I think there's a lot of ways you can use
who
him.
knows? It might be really valuable because you're going to have obviously new quarterback, and maybe you need a guy extra out there as a safety valve.
And maybe this quarterback
play
worked
the
with
tight
G
end.
Scott a lot on the
I
scout
think-
team, and they have a little.
So-
Maybe they have a little rapport with each other because neither one of them saw the field last year much. So
regardless,
G Scott could be a weapon. Yes.
so
number two.
let's go 1-2. Let's go 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, if that's our predominant formation. I think Joe Royer and G Scott split that second tight end. Cade being the lead number 1 dog,
Of course,
from a tight end point of view, because he had 700 snaps last year.
sure. And
Leading big
if
time.
health is not an issue, he should have over 700
So
easily this year. as
right.
well.
So I'm saying when we go into 12 to replace the Mitch Rossi, we go either G Scott or Joe Royer. Those guys will split that second tight end.
And both of those are
Relatively.
pass. Whereas Rossi wasn't much of a pass catching option. Both of those two could be a very, very, very key passing option.
Right.
Which
But
one
they
of the,
still
which one
need
of
to
those
be able to block.
which one? That's what I say. Which one of those is willing to make that seal block on an off tackle or a trap play?
Yeah.
You know, where you can just you don't need to fucking smash a guy through a hole. You need to seal him off. Seal him off the
Right.
hole. You know, it's
Right.
it's
So-
a different kind of block. So
We got to get through this O line in like 5 minutes. I got to go to bed.
line's easy. It's real easy.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
'Cause
so.
I got some curveballs for you.
I don't think. All right, let's go.
I got some curveballs. My O line, you guys, I'll let you interject after I lay out mine. From left to right, left tackle, I got Donovan Jackson moving out to left tackle. I know he's 6'4", but I'm moving him out there because I know of his athleticism and his experience. Then left guard, I'm going Enoch Vamahi coming in because of his experience. He's been in. Vic Cutler, my guy Vicky, coming in at center. New guy. Matthew Jones staying at the right guard with his big clown foot. Then Josh Fryer, the swing man from last year, coming in at right guard. Those are my starters.
I'll disagree with your left tackle. I think Donovan Jackson could easily play left tackle, but I think he'd be doing a disservice to the running game.
Okay.
And
Who's your right tackle,
his
Joe?
guard
Who's the right
position.
tackle?
Fryer.
Fryer, right tackle. I thought you said right guard.
Hmm.
Okay.
No, right guard, I got Matthew Jones staying.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay.
I mean, I would
Go ahead,
have had Matt Jones at the center spot, but I don't know the guy coming in. He's going to be playing, right? I mean, you got to think he's playing.
I can give you my 2 deep if you want me to lay that out and help you out. I'm going behind these guys from left to right. I'm going Tegra Shabola, the 2nd-year guy. I'm going Zen Mahalski. That's a slash. That's kind of a one or the other for left tackle. Carson Hinsman at left guard. At the center or right guard, Jacob James. So he's been practicing at center all last year, but he can also play guard. Jacob James, he's a 4th-year guy. Let me double check that before I open my big fat mouth. James. Yes, he came in 2020 class. So this will be his 4th year on campus. So that's why I go Jacob James, either your center, backup center, or your right guard. Then I go George Fitzpatrick at your right tackle. Those are my selections. Please pick away.
Yeah, no, I just think Donovan Jackson's going to stay at the left guard.
Okay, that's fine. It's very possible. But then you got to find a good left tackle that is starter worthy. And I'm not sure we have that.
Yeah, I don't know. You brought in that Victor Cutler. You got to assume he's going to play, but he's probably going to play. Can that Jacob James play left tackle? That is Zen Mahalski. Get that.
The biggest question on our team, I think, over cornerback and just defense in general is our left. Yeah, that left tackle question. I mean,
I can give you snap counts because this is my concern, guys.
Donovan Jackson was a top 5 guard in the country. He played guard in high school.
Right.
He's been playing guard.
He's going to be a guard in the pros.
I don't think they move him. I think maybe they just say, hey, let's have one of the best left guards in the country. Let's not try to make him a goddamn tackle.
And that's fine.
Maybe.
I have no problem with that, Jeff. But look at the snap counts and the experience at left tackle. There is
you're right. No, you're right, Joe. You're right. That's what worries me. Like, I think I don't.
I don't know. Out of a depth thing, we got a bunch of guards. We got no tackles.
Yeah, we're in reverse. We're going in reverse of a couple of years ago. We're going to have 4 guards on the team.
Instead of 4 tackles, right? So yeah, fuck, man. It's a big question. I would like to know. I would like to know how all those recruitments of the transfer portal left tackles that we were going after, why all those fizzled out and why we lost out on all those guys. Is it strictly a money thing, or like, because that's what we were looking for. We went out and specifically were looking for a left tackle. We missed on them all. And so that's the biggest question on the team. I think is that left tackle spot. Do we take away Donovan's maybe All-American left guard play next year to put him at left tackle, where he can be maybe an above average Big Ten tackle? I don't know, but how can he transforms if they move him out there? I'm sure they're going to give him a look out there. I'm sure they are, because he's probably their best offensive lineman returning. But if he struggles against our DNs, against JT and Sawyer, and they're just fucking killing him at left tackle, they're going to say, well, fuck, he might be All-American left guard. Let's just move him back in. Put somebody else out there. Is it Fryer? Can he play? Can Josh Fryer play?
Let me give you the experience we have at tackle.
None.
Josh Fryer has had 231 snaps. Okay, that's it. Enoch was a guard. Zen Mahalski, who has 6'6" kind of tackle range, he only had 79 snaps last year. Jacob James, again, we talked about, was probably guard / center. Tegra Shabola is only a second-year guy. This will be his second year. He had 52 snaps. Ben Chrisman, 9 snaps, who would be your kind of
those guys were both highly rated. I mean, I'd like to see one of those
Fitzpatrick too.
Step it up.
Yeah. There's a lot of time. Go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
No, I mean, I think there's some names on here that we got a couple years ago. Shabola, Chrisman. I mean, these were good looking dudes. Like you said, Fitzpatrick. Can one of these guys do something? We don't know, just because last year, they weren't in the mix, man. That was pretty much a done deal with what was going on at the O-line. But now I don't know. Other than Donovan Jackson, I think everybody's susceptible if somebody really comes in here and kicks ass in camp and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised to see one of these younger guys make his way on there.
Right.
And I
The
totally,
challenge is, though, experience in games. That's my concern.
well, we don't have it. We know, Joe. We know we're going into the season. We know that they don't have game experience, but like we always seem to have an one or two linemen emerge. Luke Whippler, before last season, not this past season, the season before, Luke Whippler kind of came out of nowhere. Like we knew he 4-star kid. He was in the system. I think he's from Walsh Jesuit, a good program in Ohio, whatever. But
He's
he
from
just
Jersey,
emerged.
but whatever.
Jack Wallaball from a couple years ago. He's the one from Jesuit. Anyway,
Legend.
yeah. Well, I mean, but like he came out of he just emerged. Like he was a guy we know. He's like, going into his third year in the program, he just emerged as a starting center, played well, was the no doubt center going into this past season. Josh Myers, even as a highly touted freshman, but did not play as a freshman, didn't play much as a sophomore. But he emerged as as the number one guy going into his junior year, played like an All-American, now is Aaron Rodgers center, and doing very well in the NFL. So one Jacob James, Josh Pryor, pick one. One of those guys is probably going to emerge as a pro prospect type lineman.
Guaranteed.
Now, which one?
Guaranteed.
Which one and at what position, and how that affects the line, we don't know. If we have a great an NFL left guard and right guard, our left tackle could still give up 20 sacks in the season. We could see that. So,
what's our last guy that started on the O line for a season that doesn't play at the next level?
There was an all season starter. I don't know. They all
all of them do. All of them.
I saw Demetrius Knox in an NFL uniform. Believe it or not.
Prince plays for the Bengals.
And last year in the playoffs, he was the starting right tackle in the playoffs. I mean, he was the yeah. And these guys are considered like bus, below average NFL linemen. Michael Jordan and not Tayshaun Prince, Jesus Christ, Isaiah Prince, Tayshaun. Fucking Pistons Lord.
All right, so we really established that we don't know what's going on with the O-line because.
But you're back up, Joe. Yeah, you named the top 10. You named the 10 guys that are going to be, you named the 10. Whether which one emerges, we don't know because we don't see them. We have no idea which one might emerge. But I think you're 5. What do they do with Donovan Jackson at left guard to left tackle? I don't know. I think it's all in how he shows out at left tackle. I think they give him a look, but I wouldn't be surprised if he stays at left guard because they think he might be, one of the best at left guard.
I think he's going to be a first-round draft pick at guard.
Okay.
So who our left tackle is going to be a big question going through spring into fall camp. That's what we're going to be looking at when we're starting the season.
But Joe, I'm with you. Donovan Jackson could do it, and if he's not starting left tackle, he's probably the backup left tackle. Like, all right, if this dude something that starts fucking up, all right, Donovan, you're moving over, and we're going to move somebody else.
I agree.
And
Sean.
to that point, I would say Matt Jones is our backup center if Vic Cutler can't get in there and do it, or he gets hurt.
I agree there too, Joe. I agree there too. I think Vic Cutler earns a starting spot, as probably at center. And Matt Jones is.
I think you got to get Enoch and Josh Fryer on the field as starters. Those guys have been around for 4 years. They are good enough.
Yeah, it's Enoch.
I'm not saying they're all Big Ten. I'm saying they're good enough.
It's fucking Vic Cut, Enoch, Fryer, Matt Jones, and Donovan Jackson. Where now How they end up, yeah, that's probably still in the air. But I think those are the five. I think those have to be the five.
Yeah.
If those aren't the five, now we're in real trouble, right? If one of those five don't earn it, now we're in real trouble. I think.
Yeah.
As far as depth and everything else.
Yeah. And those are the recruiting losses that we've dealt with. Same at the corner position. We'll get into the defense next week, though.
Yes.
And appreciate everybody stopping by tonight. I'm sure that most of you are watching the Bengals game right at this moment. And hopefully Joe Burrow pulls our guys out. Excuse me. As always, we appreciate you guys joining us. Please like and subscribe. Oh, I had way too much to do.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then.
Right. So next week, we're going to talk the defense too deep. I knew we couldn't do the whole team in one night. And we're going to talk NFL draft, silly season. And if we have extra time, Sean's going to tell me why Ohio State is going to win the national championship.
That's easy.
Sean, we need 90 seconds essay. Let it ride. Yeah, CJ Stroud's making some strides up these draft boards. So, there's going to be a big decision when at Bama's pro day and Bryce Young gets on the scale. We're going to find out, if is he 185, is he 210? Because they said he's trying to bulk up. He's with these these specialists that are trying to train him just to gain weight. But is that just blow up weight or what? CJ Stroud, they know his frame. Bryce Young, he's gonna get some balloon arms.
Jeff, we can't talk about this tonight.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry, we just can't.
Yeah, next week. Draft talk.
Yep. All right, talk to you guys later. Appreciate everybody joining us. Hit the like and subscribe as always, and we are out. Laters on the Man Jay.
Later, bro.
Good luck.